That's not a comic book. Now that's a comic book.
Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Comic Reviews. I'm Super2, and I've got a decent-sized week. I didn't think it was going to be initially, but DC really coming through with those $10 books this week. I'm actually got quite a lot on my plate that I need to get done tonight, so I'm not going to do too much. In case you missed my announcement video yesterday, I'm going to be taking a bit, not a break, I'm taking my foot off the gas a little bit on some stuff for the channel, just briefly. So, Trade Talk's taking a bit of a break, and the 2 bonus episodes, mini episodes, whatever you want to call them, of Geeky Gentlemen are taking a break. So character discussions and fan film reviews are just taking a brief pause. Comic reviews and the regular Sunday episodes of Geeky Gentlemen will still continue as normal. I just need some time to work on a personal project kind of thing. And so I just need time to really focus in and dedicate on it. Otherwise, shouldn't be... I'm hoping it really won't be too long. I'm hoping no more than a month, honestly. Alright. So, all that being said, let's go ahead and talk about what we'll be talking about tonight. We'll be starting off tonight with Superman Leviathan Rising, #1. $10. Let's kick off an event with a trade. And then we have DC's Dog Days of Summer, 80-page giant for $10. Ouch! Seriously, I went into the store this week and I had these 2 books. And I was like, okay, let's just check the shelves. And I found those 2 things. I'm like, well, I should probably read those. I'm keeping up with Bendis' stuff, so I should probably finish that. And then I saw this. I'm like, oh, that'll be fun. And before I know it, I'm out the store at $30. We'll also be talking about Zorro, Sacrilege, #1. And then Heroes in Crisis, #9. Alrighty. So it should be a grand old yabadoo time. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started with Superman Leviathan Rising. So yeah, I am annoyed that we're kicking off an event with a trade. That is, I cannot condone that behavior. I will give it credit. So it's a $10 book, and it is, I've had trades that are shorter than this and cost more. It does take a considerable amount of time to read, and you do get quite a bit of content in it. I was a little bit surprised by something, but at the same time, it's not a complete story, which really bugs me. Like, it has a complete story in it that sets up the rest of the Leviathan Rising, but it's got, like, this huge middle section that's just, like, such a weird, disjointed thing. I don't get it. So let's see here. We get to this point in the book, and suddenly it becomes a Jimmy Olsen story. And then we get done with the Jimmy Olsen bit, which takes up, not an inconsiderable number of pages. And then it's a Supergirl story, which takes up not an inconsiderable number of pages. And then we're back to the story that we were telling beforehand. You could just skip this, and it's fine. But what's weird is the story beforehand is kind of somewhat dependent a little bit on the Jimmy Olsen thing. I don't think the Supergirl thing's connected at all. Like, I don't see her in this chaotic scene. But it's so weird. So I'm like, is this setting up? I know we're getting a Jimmy Olsen and a Lois Lane book, and they announced that at the end, and obviously Supergirl is going to have a new run, but it's just, it's such a weird decision, and I really didn't care for that. You know, you could almost do without the whole middle and just have Jimmy and Lois and Firestorm barge in like they do, and you'd be fine. It was such a just strange choice to stick it in the middle like that. It feels really awkward. That being said, I enjoyed the Jimmy Olsen section probably more than anything else. I have no idea what the fuck's going on with Talia al Ghul and Leviathan. I'm so confused. I have no answers. I have only questions. So that's unpleasant. The Jimmy Olsen teaming up with Dexter thing is kind of cool. Like, I gotta admit, this scene of Jimmy Olsen and Dexter is probably one of the funniest fucking things I've seen in comics in a while. Jimmy's just talking to the cat, and then all of a sudden, and then the room's just covered in blood. And I was like, that was pretty good. I thought, oh hey, it's blue, kind of like Dexter, and it's angry, kind of like Dexter. And yup, it's Jimmy Olsen and Dexter together as buddies. I'm fine with that. The Supergirl thing is completely useless. There's absolutely no point to the Supergirl story, near as I can tell. It seems to be taking place like months after the events of the story. It's so confusing. This seems to be picking up more on the stuff going on in action than in Superman, of course, which does benefit it and makes it just a little easier to read. Since I'm liking the events in action a lot more. Yeah, that's about all I've got. I wasn't super displeased with it, but I was less than impressed. If I could have read it in the store, would I have paid $10 for it? Would I say this story is worth $10? No. The Jimmy Olsen stuff was great and fun, and I certainly will probably be picking up the Jimmy Olsen and perhaps even the Lois Lane book. Lois Lane written by Greg Rucka. That sounds fun. But I gotta say, I mean, I'll give the Jimmy Olsen and Lois Lane books a shot. I don't want to commit to picking them up weekly right now. But man, this was a hard sell for me. In retrospect, like I kind of wish I hadn't paid $10 for that. I got a flat tire today, and I wasn't able to change it out with a spare or use Fix-A-Flat or fill it up with air to get it to the stores. I had to tow it. So there was $50. Then I had to get the thing fixed at a tire place. There was a problem with the valve stem. That was $75. Comics today were $30. Lunch today was $12. I spent a lot of money today, and if I could have gotten $10 of that back, I'd probably take it right about now. It's not... I don't want to give the impression that I think this is overly bad, but I would have gladly taken an $8 book that doesn't promote Jimmy Olsen and Supergirl over a $10 book that feels like the Jimmy Olsen and Supergirl stuff just gets in the way. The Real Manos says, "Hi there, watching this at work." That's called responsibility, folks. Yeah. Now, funny enough, Phillip Kelton's in my comments talking about how much he loves Dexstar, and that provides a pretty good transition to my next book, which is DC's Dog Days of Summer. 8 Tales of Mammal Mayhem. That's a good title. I like it. And I really like when DC does these like little specials for different holidays or times of year. I've yet to read one where I'm like, all of these were worthless. So far, everyone I've read, I've really, really liked it. Okay. So, premise behind this is animal character or animal-esque themed character doing something summery. And that's it. And it's just in the DC universe, and that's fun. Okay. So the first story is called The Crucible. This is written by Colin Kelly and Jackson Lanzing, with art by Cully Hammer. And this is about Superman and Krypto dealing with a big alien ship that calls itself the Crucible of Benevolent Cosmos. And they have to enter the ship and fight through all these obstacles that are clearly tests of their friendship. And then once they get to the center of the Crucible, they realize it's got a kryptonite heart, and Superman tells Krypto, "You've got to go. They need you more than I do." And Superman's sure of one thing, that at least Krypto will be safe, because he knows Krypto will listen to him. And Krypto refuses to listen to him, refuses to leave Superman's side, and chooses instead, if he has to die beside him. And then it's all okay. Because, God, if you kill Krypto in a book, I'm going to kill you. It's all okay. Because that was the ultimate test of the Crucible of Benevolent Cosmos, to find the most pure and loving bonds in the universe. So that was really, really sweet. I really liked it. I dug it. It was super fun. I'm not sure how I felt about the art. On one level, it's pretty cool and imaginative. We got like all the alternate Supermans, and then we got like, oh, this is what Superman is afraid of himself, being torn between two worlds, and yada yada. And there's what Krypto's afraid of. Olsen. I quite enjoyed it. That first story is good. The art's pretty cool. In comic book hell for saying this, but it reminds me of like the bad things about Frank Quitely's art. And 3, 2, 1, here come the hate. No, but like seriously, Frank Quitely's like a really, really talented artist that brings a lot of input, but every so often there's just things about his art that I see and I'm like, that looks weird. And that's kind of how I feel about this, so I don't know, I'm 50-50 on the art. The next story, what's it called? Citizen Croc, written by Joshua Williamson, with art by Kyle Hotz. So I guess the first story is probably the one that doesn't fit the summer theme the most, but I'm willing to give it a pass. Anyway, so the second one is about how Killer Croc escapes from Arkham, and he goes down to the Louisiana Bayou like a vacation. He goes down to Florida. You know, you just get away from the city, you go down to Florida for a weekend. He goes down to Louisiana Bayou and freaks out some tourists. Then Kyle Hotz does do some really incredible Croc art. There's a pretty damn good image of Croc. He fights a gator along the way. It's kind of cool. He's got the very Arkham Asylum inspired thing where he's got like the pants on kind of stuff. That was pretty cool. And so Waylon Jones goes down and finds this little cabin and finds this little crocodile kid living in the cabin. And apparently, Waylon knows him. What's his name? I think we just used the word you. Anyway, so this little kid, little crocodile kid, that's what I'm going to call him at least, looked up to Waylon when Waylon was a gangster in Louisiana. Looked up to him like, oh man, I want to be just like you. And before Waylon left Louisiana for Gotham, he set the kid up with some money, and he didn't want the kid following in his footsteps. He didn't want the kid to end up like him. And he heard that the kid ended up shooting a cop, and so now he's down here trying to talk some sense into him. And Croc says, I always believed that helping you out of this life was the one good thing I ever did. Knowing that you were out there living a good life, no matter what horrible things I did in Gotham, it was my peace. And the kid screams, my life is not about making you feel better about your mistakes, Croc. I'm going to live my own life, my own path, earn my own peace, you hear me? I'm going to be the baddest crime lord in Gotham has ever seen. Killing one dumb cop is just the start. You want to help me? Help me get out of here. And Croc says, all I wanted was for you to have a better life. I'll help you escape. And it says, I knew you would. Just like old times. But Batman's been on the trail. And Croc says, over here, Bats. And he just surrenders. And Batman's surprised by that and can't imagine it. Waylon says, listen, just take him back to Gotham. I love super fucked up Batman villain stories like that. I'll help you escape, kid. Just keep looking at the bunnies! God, that is super fucked up and just the right level of Batman fucked up. You know what I mean? There's like a sick thrill I get with those really fucked up Batman stories that get like way overly grim dark, and it's like a flavor. It's like an acquired taste. I read that in anything else, I'm like, oh god, what grimdark trash is this? But when you put the cape and cowl on it and you make it about a Batman villain, I can't get enough. Just more, please. It's the best. It's literally the best thing ever when you do super grimdark stuff with Batman villains and Batman characters. You put Batman in it, it can be the most grimdark thing in the world, and I love it all the more. Killer Croc, weirdly enough, just has some of the most fucked up stories. If anyone's interested, a really good one-shot I recommend is Joker's Asylum Killer Croc. That series was hit and miss, but that issue was... Alrighty. Then we go on to the next story, which is Barbecue Season, written by G. Willow Wilson with art by Stephen Sejic. I was not aware that Stephen Sejic was on this when I bought it. If I had been, I wouldn't have hesitated for a second. I definitely would have bought it. I remember I follow Stephen Sejic on Twitter, and I remember him talking about this. This is the last story, if all goes well at least, this is the last story he'll be doing the art for that he isn't writing in comics ever. That's the look of it, at least, is he's done doing contractual art in comics for interiors, at least. He may still do covers, but he's going to be a writer-artist on any books now, and he's going to do mostly creator-owned stuff. Which is really cool and exciting. I'm quite glad for him. That's pretty neat. So it's kind of neat to just have this little piece of, yeah, he's done with interiors on comics, if all goes well. And yeah, there's some thirsty bitches out there reading Stephen Sejic's stuff. As the male members of the Justice League play volleyball and Wonder Woman and Black Canary walk around the beach in swimsuits. Yeah, everyone thirsty. Here, let me get you a glass to deal with all that thirstiness. Oh shit, I still got liquid in there. That would have been great to dump on the webcam. Anyway, so Wonder Woman's friend, who is named Ferdinand the Minotaur. That's funny. How did I never make that connection before? Like Ferdinand the Bull. That shit funny. Anyway, Ferdinand the Minotaur has been asked to be the chef at the Justice League Beach Barbecue. And he is morally conflicted because he is super into this level of responsibility. And he is so proud that he has been honored with this request. But also, burgers are cows, and he feels like a cannibal for cooking them. And just the expressions, Stephen Sejc is so good at expressions. Like, that's a fucking meme right there. Cheeseburger. I love this conversation. It's so hard for me to tell, because I really do like Willow Wilson's Wonder Woman, and she does write these fun comedy scenes really well, but so much of this just reeks of exactly how Sejc would set up a humorous scene. Cyborg. Sorry, Ferdinand, I didn't mean to wreck your tent. Don't worry about it. Are you okay? You look like somebody died. I'm fine. Thank you for inquiring, Cyborg. Are you sure? If you must know, it's these burgers. For you, they are satisfying comfort food of barbecue season, but for me, they are cannibalism. I never thought of it that way, but now I can't unthink it. Cheeseburger. I'm good. Thanks. Then he texts Wonder Woman, she's like, you could have served us something else if it made you uncomfortable. He's like, no, that would be uncouth. That would not be right. I am going to go off and find a substitute food that will make everyone happy. And so he goes off and barges into the room of a scientist. I love it. Look, he drives a car with a cow skull on it. That's funny. Anyways, barges into the room of a scientist, an evil scientist who's drawn quite a bit like Stephen Sejc, and asks if he's got a meat substitute. And he's like, yeah, of course we do. Just don't touch it. And Ferdinand touches it, and it forms into a hideous bull minotaur creature. And Wonder Woman has to bash in and kill it real quickly because it's damn terrifying. Look how good that looks! Jesus. Sejc does some really amazing work. Oh my god, I feel that thing's pain. Wonder Woman killing that thing is a mercy. Look at its fucking ribs still exposed. And look just all the flesh. Oh my god. And then it's the way Sejic draws Wonder Woman just jumping in all triumphant and shit. I love the way Sejic draws Wonder Woman. He has such a perfect take on her. Man. It's just great. Anyway. And she's like, oh, well, Ferdinand, you made this day really interesting regardless, so thanks. And we'll figure out something else to eat. That's sweet. Sweet. Nice little goodbye for Steven Sejic from that kind of comic book artistry, and G. Will Wilson wrote a fun script, so good stuff. Good stuff. Then we have Captain Carrot in, what's it called? Crisis on Earth 26 or something? Yeah. Captain Carrot in Crisis on Earth 26. The superheroes in the multiverse, including President Superman and Radioactive Batman, who's basically just Judge Dredd, are discussing matters when Captain Carrot comes in and says, it's a crisis! And apparently there's some evil shenanigans going on with the sun in his dimension. And this pisses off Radioactive Batman because his problems are all grim, dark, and serious. And he can't stand cartoon physics. And so, yeah, we just, we go and deal with cartoon physics. There's an angry sun, there's a zoo crew of evil animals, and there's a little tiny mouse that can shrink people, and it shrinks President Superman. Yeah. And then so it's just Radioactive Batman and Captain Carrot, and Captain Carrot has to get Radioactive Batman to obey cartoon physics. So he's like, pick up that rake! Now throw it in front of you! Whack! Now move that hole on the ground! Slide. Whoosh! So yeah. And then, yeah, I mean, it resolves pretty quickly. It was a fun one, though. I like the idea of these two being a duo, because Radioactive Batman hates cartoon physics, apparently. Next we get an Animal Man story where Buddy takes his family on vacation. This is called Animal Man in Rio Celeste? Celeste. Celeste? Takes his family on vacation to a remote area where people usually aren't allowed to be, but since he's in the Justice League, he swung it. And then he's, watching his wife and daughter play in the water, and he's using the ability of the mantis shrimp to see all the beautiful colors, and then suddenly he taps more into the red, and he feels a terribly threatening force, and immediately has to get his kids out of the water because he's feeling an animal that's got hugely ill intent, something he's never felt before. And he takes his family back and shelters them for the night, and prepares for the attack of the beast that has their scent. And he has to kill it. Animal Man has to kill an animal. And it's the last of its kind. It's lived just too long and eaten people left and right. But ultimately, Animal Man decides there's no disobeying the one law that governs all of us. Protect your pack. So that was a pretty good one. I quite liked it. It's a nice dark place to take Animal Man to. I don't think anyone's ever going to be able to quite go to the lengths Grant Morrison did, but, it's cool. And the next story is Phillip Kelton. Get ready. Dexstar in tourist season. So the evil Kuns in Space Sector 3009 are terrorizing a race of sentient teddy bears as part of their annual touristy hunting tradition. and the plight of the teddy bear people is taken pity upon by Dexstar, the Red Lantern Kit Kat. And Dexstar starts to punish the Khunds, and the teddy bear that we're following doesn't really know if it can fight, but it's so grateful, and Dexstar talks shit to it and tells it, you need to learn to fight, or otherwise why should I even bother to help you? And so yeah, Dexstar does a thing and is trying to help, but the bear chickens out, and this is like, so he says, you save the other losers. Dexstar, stop, Khund. And yeah, Dexstar not afraid. But then the Khund have a secret weapon and are able to knock Dexstar out, and it's going to kill it. When suddenly the bear decides to rise up, but the Khund are still harsh and evil and kill one of their bear kin. And then the rage this creates within the teddy bear grants it the power of a Red Lantern ring, and it is filled with a righteous fury and kills the Khunds. And yeah, so now Dexstar and the teddy bear people have a new summer tradition they call tourist season. And yeah, we've got a new wacky Red Lantern. I love it. I love Dexstar so much. That was really good. Next story is what's this one called? You know, I really wish they wouldn't put credits and titles at the end. Okay, Bat Cow and Panic at the Midnight Rodeo, written by Dan Didio, with art by Tom Raney. This is probably the worst story in the book, but it's mercifully short. A drunk guy wants to ride an evil bull that's green and looks like the Joker, and it throws him immediately, and it's gonna kill him. But luckily, he's saved at the last minute by Bat Cow. And Bat Cow refuses to move and stares down the unstoppable force of the bull. And there's a lot of Dark Knight references, and it's not that funny. This would be hilarious 10 years ago, Dan Didio. Anyway, they're able to stop the bull, and Bat Cow just kind of stands there. Yeah. And then it stands in the moonlight. That one was pretty fucking pointless. Phillip Collins says Dexstar and Ewoks. Yeah, I totally didn't think of that. Last story is All Beasts Bright and Beautiful, and this is about Beast Boy, who's just going to the beach trying to have a nice summer day, when he's getting picked on by some big muscle-bound jock guys, and so he challenges one of them to a muscle-off, an event. And yeah, so he runs around as a gorilla with a barrel, and then breaks through a wall as a rhinoceros, and races down the beach as a horse. Then he dives off a pier as a dolphin, but the muscle guy's friends catch him in a net, and Beast Boy has to learn some humility and shrink down to a guppy, and then come back and win the day. But he gets back to the beach, and he apologizes to a person just sitting on the beach trying to relax and have a good time reading some comics. And so Beast Boy apologizes, sits down and reads, and that's the story. I quite enjoyed this. This was a lot of fun. Okay, so let's see here. What stories do we have? Crypto and Superman in the Crucible. Solid B+. Killer Croc in Citizen Croc. A-. Ferdinand in Barbecue Season, A-. Captain Carrot in Crisis on Earth 26, B+. Animal Man in Rio Celeste, B. Dexstar in Taurus Season, A+. Love that one. Bat Cow in Panic at the Midnight Rodeo, C-, maybe. And then Beast Boy in All Beasts Bright and Beautiful, B+. So we got a pretty high standard. The worst thing here was just like, okay, yeah, let's get over this. Everything else in here was super fun, super enjoyable, super cool. And $10. This is the kind of thing I wish DC would just keep doing all the time. I know last year their holiday special was a Walmart book, and it was mostly reprints, and that was fine, but I like this new content in these really short, bite-sized pieces. That's just really fun. I also really like these. It's weird. I almost want this to be the cover. This is a Francis Manipal cover, and I love it, and it's great. So we got Beast Boy on the beach. He's got Wonder Woman's shield. It's Wonder Woman's shield that he's using to catch more rays. Oh, that's funny. Crypto's eating a Batman popsicle. It's a great cover. I do love it. It's got the DC logo on a surfboard. There's all kinds of craziness. Look, he even did Titan's Tower as a sandcastle and it collapsed. Oh, that's so sweet. It's a great, great Francis Manipal cover. There's so much rich detail and fun stuff in there. I do truly love it. There's something so damn sleek and cool about the DC logo at the bottom of the pool. I don't even know why I like that slightly more. It's so... This is great and fun and classic comic book fun, cool stuff. This is just minimalist, sleek coolness, That's good. This is like a little black dress, this is an elegant gown, and this is like a little black dress. That's what I got for you. Alright, let's go ahead and move on. Talk about Zorro Sacrilege, number 1. This is number 1 of 4 of a new 4-part series from American Mythology Comics, or Productions, whatever. This is following up Zorro Swords of Hell, number 4. At the end of that, Zorro leaves Lolita and his family because he realizes that now his identity as Don Diego de la Vega is out. He is putting them in too much danger, and he needs to search and find out if he can truly be Zorro and be happy, or if Don Diego de la Vega truly is dead. And that's interesting. I almost immediately don't think that that's the direction that the writer's going with, because old dude just shows up to this other Spanish colony town as Don Diego de la Vega, and I'm like, I get that news travels slow, but that slow? Really? Hey, you about that? Because that just seems kind of ridiculous. So yeah, that was a weird choice. Just on premise, I feel like if you wanted to do a story, your first story, and base it off like the Marc of Zorro film ending where everyone knows Don Diego's Zorro, yada yada yada, it's great, it's fine, it's whatever, do your thing. But I feel like you've got to run with that decision, which means you give up the right to do the secret identity story. Anyway. The other major problem with this book is on the printing. it happens from time to time in comics. I fully understand that. But this was a hard time. This book is misprinted as far as page order goes. And, like, I can forgive, the margins are slightly off or something, or maybe we've got a little bit of, like, a double print or something. I can understand that and forgive it, but, like, fucking page order? That's a huge problem. So, yeah, it starts off fine until Diego is temporarily staying at this nice, cushy place and asks for a room downstairs, and then you turn the page and suddenly it's like later that night. I'm like, okay, that's fine. But then Diego mentions like some miners died, and I found it very distasteful that the guy was just so cool with that. I'm like, well, that's a weird thing to not show us. And then you get the next page and it's like before he was given his room downstairs, and I'm like, what? And it's not just like one page is out of order. There's entire sections of the book that are out of order, which is really weird because, like, then you're left in this spot of like, is this supposed to take place in the middle of the book? Is this part supposed to be told out of order? What's going on? And it's just so confusing. The book ends on a cliffhanger, and I really don't know where the cliffhanger is supposed to be honest. Like, there's a preview for another comic in the comic, and then there's the true ending of the book. And I'm like, it's almost unreadable. Like, all the reveals, all the big shocking moments don't work because they're all out of order. So you're just confused. You have to read it in order, try to put it in order yourself, since you don't necessarily have any indication of what true order is. You're flipping back and forth and like, okay, this scene's set in this location, this scene's not. And of course, while you're doing that, you're finding out details based on reveals of the art. So it's just disappointing. It's all I can say. I'm sure American Mythology Comics will fix it and send out a proper printing, but maybe I'm just the unlucky one and I'm the only one that got it in this order. But man, that was rough. Unfortunately, so it leaves me in a place where I almost don't even want to critique the story or the art, because I'm so confused by it. I didn't really get a proper dive into it, I'm gonna have to message American Mythology Comics on Twitter or something, see if I can get a free copy of like the proper order printing or something, because this was just, I hate to say it, but that is kind of unacceptable. Alrighty. Here's the thing everyone's waiting for. Heroes in Crisis, number 9, written by Tom King with art by Clay Mann. It's a good book. Everyone that's bitching about nitpicky ass shit, just shut up. You're not smart enough and you don't deserve it. I don't know. I'm in such a weird place on this, because from what I can gather, the best critique of Tom King as a writer is that he's willing or able to tell stories with a character without feeling tied down to that character's legacy or history. He is willing to do daring things with characters without worrying about what the whether or not that is necessarily in character long term for them. And so that's the big complaint about Wally West. Wally West is emotionally vulnerable, does something stupid, is not ready for the revelation he gets, loses control of his powers, and people died. People died because of it. That sucks. And it's a really sad thing. And so Wally does what any hero does. He goes all rogue and he's like, no, I know the right thing to do. I'm going to go fix it. And he doesn't realize you can't fix it. What the hell? Did I just lose my stream? Oh, weird. Before I go on, can I get someone in the comments making sure that you still see me, I'm still live and stuff? I'm sorry if this is interrupting the main video. Sorry, I hate when this happens, but I just got a weird message and I wanted to make... Okay, thank you, Rockman. Yeah, so Wally did something that was, crazy. And it's probably out of character for him to take the steps that he did. But it's not really. Because he's never been in this situation before. Now watch someone's going to be like, but in this issue of Jeff Johns' Flash Run, yeah, sure, whatever. The specific situation King put him in, the pressures that Wally is under at the moment, he's never been in this situation before. And he did the pretty typical superhero thing that we do all the time, which is the big macho kind of dumb thing of like, no, I know the right thing and I'm going to stick to my guns and do it. And that's the exact wrong thing to do. And luckily, people save him. Booster, Harley, Batgirl, and Blue Beetle figure it out and save him from doing something even more stupid in the name of being a hero. I really like that. Because ultimately, I like what the message of the book is, and it goes back to the damn Superman speech, really. I couldn't travel back in time and redo what I'd done, unmake a mistake. That's what Barry did, and it remade the world. It erased my family. But I needed to do something good, something no one else could do, but I could, to make up for what happened. And I could see it, what it was, how I could help. I could help people like me to show them they're not, that other people are like me, so they don't have to be like me. I could show them, tell them about Sanctuary, tell them what I'd done, what the people they called heroes had done. If they knew we were making mistakes, getting help, what that help meant, what happens when you don't get help. Maybe they'd get help before they made mistakes like I'd made, like I was making. But I needed time. They'd lock me up for what I did, so I did what I did. I didn't want to. I just couldn't. I needed time. I knew I was already lost. It was all I could think of. And I came here to complete it, to kill you, me, because maybe by dying I can help a few other people who are still living. Yeah, and that's what we did. What you did. What we did. You did bad things because you weren't thinking right, and because of those bad things, Superman came out and he told people the truth. I'm not hiding anymore. I tried. That's a good thing. But that can't be the end. That's what I learned from Superman talking. We can't get away from this. You can't kill me or you. More violence doesn't solve it. We did it. We've got to face it. I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to. It was all so fast. But, and then it gets all plotty. That's the kind of stuff that really just hits it out of the park for me. The idea that, and that's what Sanctuary and the Heroes in Crisis book is about. That's the thing. It's about this. It's about the need to show our heroes struggle too. It's okay. It's okay to have mental health problems. It's okay to feel insecure, to be afraid, because our heroes are too. And like, that's... where's it at? Where the fuck? There it is! There it is! Guy Gardner! Fuck Guy Gardner normally, but check this out! It should have been me. Right from the beginning. What was wrong with me? I follow so many Green Lantern pages on Twitter, and so many of them are bitching about that one fucking panel, you stupid fucks! You don't deserve this book, you shitheads! That fucking panel has just set people off, but Guy Gardner has always been insecure that the Ring didn't choose him first. You know anything about Guy Gardner? He was the Ring's second choice. Hal was closer. That's Guy Gardner's origin. Why wasn't he good enough? That is something that has weighed on Guy Gardner and been a fundamental fucking part of his character for decades. So all the motherfuckers saying, oh, Tom King should read a Green Lantern book. Fuck you, first of all. Tom King has read Green Lantern and he wants to write a Hal Jordan book. And as soon as Morrison is done, hand that bitch over. Because I will kill for the Tom King Hal Jordan book. I will kill at least 7 people. Maybe 8. But just, Jesus, that shitty little... You know what he's doing. I'm a real Green Lantern fan. I'm just freaking out and being a fucking ass. I don't mean to. Because anyone that feels that way, me just yelling and screaming and being this hyper animated and fuck you about it, it's not going to happen. It's just going to turn you off. It's just going to be me like, you know, talking down to you, and that shit gets gatekeepy, and it's not a conversation. It's just bickering. But at the same time, fuck all of your hot takes. Every single one of your little fucking hot takes can go straight to hell. I don't have the patience for these fucking little hot takes anymore. Get a goddamn brain cell, learn to read subtext, actually think about what your characters are saying. Hal Jordan doesn't even know what will is? Bitch, define it! This is the thing that's cracking me the fuck up. Everyone that's on Twitter bitching about the line that Hal has in here, let me make sure I quote it directly, so I don't have to deal with you're not understanding the full context. Green Lantern. Let's be honest, right? I don't even know what the hell Will is. Do you? Hal doesn't even know what Will is. Let me post 4 fucking panels of Hal doing some big Willy shit. What is Will? What the fuck is Will in the goddamn Green Lantern universe? It is the most convoluted. Like seriously, someone's like, oh, Hal gets all weird and convoluted. Yeah, the whole mythos is convoluted and weird. Somehow Hope and Will supercharge each other. It's this fucking weird-ass shit that doesn't make any goddamn sense because someone made it up because it'd be cool. But seriously, the fundamental problem, as much as I love Green Lantern, the fundamental problem is there's a very poor understanding of what Will is. Is it just stubbornness? Is it just bullheadedness? No. Is it just not giving up? No. What is Will? There's this fundamental thing that's missing there. Everyone's with their fucking hot takes coming out here with the but he had like parallax in him. Why didn't Tom King have him talk about that? Because we've already dealt with that. Tom King found a more interesting take, which is that Hal and the entire Green Lantern Corps pour everything into their wills. What the fuck is that? What is will unto itself? That's an interesting goddamn question. every single one of these panels is an interesting fucking question about who this character is. The idea that Tom King hates these characters or some shit, just fuck off. Get a better hot take. Someone tune up your fucking oven. Jesus. It's so petty and annoying. And I'm like, I swear to God, I want to look into all the accounts I see posting all this shit about it and just out them as fucking 14-year-olds. I've read more Green Lantern than Tom King. Well, good for you. Go get your fucking badge and let me read your Green Lantern story, bitch. Sorry, I've been reading a lot of shitty hot takes all day, and I find them all equally annoying. Yeah, I'm sorry. If you didn't like the book, let me try to gain some good faith back. Because I am not saying that you had to like this, and if you didn't, you're a bad person. Though you are. No, I'm kidding. If you didn't like this, if you feel that this was disrespectful to the character or something, I get it. I read Tom King's Omega Men. I love Kyle Rayner. Tom King's Omega Men does a lot of fucked up things to Kyle Rayner that I don't think we've truly dealt with yet. And it does it in service to this narrative about like a soldier in the Middle East, really. That's the allegory there. But it's still a really good story. I can step back from my love of the character and acknowledge the quality of the storytelling. If you hate it, fine. Whatever. If you hate this story, fine. Quit attacking the goddamn writer. If you think that someone gets into comics just to like shit on your favorite characters or something, you've got to be like 12. I don't know a grown-ass adult that has that opinion. I have a hard time believing they exist. Like, okay, not Didio, who was it that, Quesada? Yeah, Joe Quesada fucked up on Spider-Man, Peter Parker, and the marriage. The One More Day was an editorial mandate. It's infamously bad, and yada, 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 yada. But the thing is, when you look at the justification for it, the man said that he thinks Peter Parker, Spider-Man, works better as a more relatable, young person kind of character, and having him be older and married it's taking away what, in his opinion, was a core part of Spider-Man. You can disagree with that. You can dislike the way they handled getting rid of it to retcon it. That's all fine. But the idea that he hates the characters is so damn juvenile, and I can't stand reading that shit and seeing people react that way, and the fact that it culminates in threats of violence, it's just so childish. Honestly, if you hated the book and you want to say, I fucking hated this was dumb, fine. But just grow up. Find a better way to vent about it as opposed to just shitting on someone's creative vision. Like, by the end of it, I hated what Nick Spencer was doing with Captain America by the end of it. I thought it was awful by the end of it, and that it was really, really poorly written. And that's where I stopped. Said, okay, this is really, really bad. I wish I hadn't had the faith in this run that I did at the beginning. He really, really lost me. He took a huge misstep here. That's the end of it. I ripped up a book. And I was like, this is so frustrating. This is such trash. And I ripped the book. And I explained my reasons why. and then I was done. I didn't message Nick Spencer and give him a bunch of fuck yous and talk shit about Nick Spencer every chance I got. I don't like Scott Snyder's Batman run. I made a video explaining what I thought was wrong with it, and on occasion I'll get a fucking joke in when someone really lobs it across the plate for me, but I don't message Scott Snyder trying to talk shit about him. I don't constantly post on Twitter about how bad a writer Scott Snyder is and talk about, oh, he writes fanfic, and oh, someone should really give him a Batman comic. No, just leave the damn man alone. It's ridiculous the way people react to these things. Enough. Stop it. Anyway. So yeah, the story has weird time travel-y antics conclusions. Ivy's resurrected via the green, which is kind of an interesting idea, and I've got some theories on that. I don't know, we'll see. We'll see where that goes. Anyway, I quite enjoyed this. I thought it was a really, really good story. Is it the best thing ever? No. Does it clearly have editorial mandates in it? Yeah, probably. Did the best of what he's got. Sets up an interesting road for Wally West going forward, so I'm appreciative of that, if nothing else. Yeah. That'll be the end of it. That's all I've got on Heroes in Crisis, at least for the moment. Let me see what people are saying in the comments. Okay. Man, this issue of Heroes in Crisis really hit me hard. It was really damn good. Yeah, I agree. Alfie's encouraging me to preach. I appreciate you encouraging my little fanboy rant about how annoyed I am by comics Twitter. Phillip Kelton says, the Heroes in Crisis is about giving stories vulnerabilities. Yeah, I'd agree with that. Heroes, not stories. Yeah, whatever. Alfie says, I need to hear this. I feel like I'm venting through you right now. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Take a deep breath. Yeah. I know. I can get impassioned sometimes. Really good example. Dan Slott has a bad Spidey run to me, but he loves Spider-Man even more than I do. Yeah. Just like, can you imagine the kind of shithead you'd have to be where you just like, for years, work in an industry that undervalues its creators and doesn't discriminate about quality. You have to work your way there for years and get put on a book and then just out of spite write the characters badly after all that time. Can you imagine that? What publisher comes to someone who's like, oh man, I fucking hate Punisher. Punisher's the worst character. What fucking publisher comes to them and is like, hey, do you wanna write a Punisher book? What is the fucking reality these people live in? Phil Cotton says, I get you. I also seen bad reviews on the comic. I wonder if people would have been more able to like this story as an Elseworlds story. Honestly, that part of the outrage culture, it creates the bad habit on people of just react about things and keep doing it over and over but not thinking, because it's become a habit. It's become a habit, a way of thinking. I think a lot of the things started with the nostalgia critic type of reviews, but that, in my opinion, it's possible that this is already there beforehand. I don't think this is anything new. I think the internet's just given it more of a voice. You walked into a comic shop 30 years ago and you'd hear someone sitting there fucking bitching about whatever Todd McFarlane was doing. Lacoon Ranger says, I'm sorry, but King's writing here just didn't do it for me. That's fine. If you didn't like it, that's fine. What I'm annoyed by is the hot takes that have clearly no thought into them as examples of why it's bad. Like, the people are saying, Guy Gardner, what the hell is he talking about? Why wasn't he first? Well, do you know shit about Guy Gardner? Think about it. Hal Jordan, what does he mean that he doesn't even understand what will is? Well, have you actually considered it? Because you showing me examples of Hal Jordan having enormous will in the comics tells me that you haven't. Tells me that you're not actually asking the question. Will in the comics is just an accepted thing, and we go from there, more or less. We rarely talk about will in and of itself. And that's the question that Hal's getting at. The book is too good for you, stupid people. Like, I could do a dig right now. And yeah, I'm being facetious. I'm being overly harsh because I'm just annoyed. But I could do a dig right now against a comics writer I don't like based on what I just said. But I'm not gonna, because I don't gain any joy from just constantly shitting on one person. There's no fun in that for me. And I feel like if you are the kind of person that likes doing that, God, I really hope you don't watch my videos. Because I know you don't watch my videos if you're the kind of person that likes to just constantly shit on a thing, because I don't encourage that. I don't market to that at all. I've got like 2,700 subscribers. It's nothing. It's literally nothing on YouTube. But that's because I don't view chase for the big controversial thing where I'm going to take a stand on a super hot take and just go for the divisiveness. I have no interest in it. I market myself to people who want to have reasonable discussions and opinions on these matters. And I have no patience for the outrage. It's ridiculous. It's a goddamn comic book. Grow the fuck up. Zorro Fan Productions is here. Hey, Zorro Fan Productions. And he asked me, would you think about Tom King writing a Zorro comic book? Would you read it? In a heartbeat. Because it'd just be a Batman comic book all over again. There was all the rumors last week about Tom King being kicked off Batman, and it's kind of true. He's leaving the book at issue 85, and he's getting a 12-issue Batman Catwoman book. That's going to conclude the run, and that's going to be all well and good and great. I kind of wish that... you know how crazy the news would have been? It was like, Tom King kicked off Batman, hired for Zorro, and then he's just like, missing a beat, he just like recreates all of the Batman run in the Zorro comic without just like assuming you've read all the Batman. It just picks it up right there, only all the characters have just changed to Zorro characters. That would be hilarious. I would read that in an instant, though. We got a Tom King 100 issues on Zorro. I carve the sea. It's so brutal. Why? Geeks for Fun says, what do you think about the news of him writing the New Gods movie? Is that that's real, or is that a rumor? I've not heard about that. I know he's been like, kicking around the idea, or like hinting that he's working on secret TV or film projects, but I've not heard that he might be writing a New Gods movie. It's real! Tom King's actually going to be writing a New Gods movie. I mean, shit, after Mr. Miracle, the guy gets Darkseid. I can't wait to see the Darkseid is pop up on screen. That's cool. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm very excited. Then that'll be great. Yeah. Awesome. All right, that'll do it for me tonight, folks. Thank you very much for watching. Until next time, bye.